And I believe each of you wonders as to what is meant by artificial intelligence. Many people have come up with various aspects and various attitude towards artificial intelligence as a technology. But I just wanted to have, first of all, an interaction with you, and we share about what that technology is. How does that technology come up to change the whole world? And why everybody is talking about technology of artificial intelligence, and how as teachers can utilize this opportunity to do and find out, and use it as a tool for their personal and professional engagement. And then we're going to have a conversation on how do Muslim scholars and also Muslim clerics can use this tool or this technology to enhance and keep them, help them establish their knowledge as well as making work easier for them. I have engaged myself in research, and I have, on many occasions, involved myself in a lot of these educational technology, because what I do, I am a system manager. When we say system manager, it means I develop systems that people use, or softwares that people use in managing systems like education system, like teaching systems and all that, but I integrate them with artificial intelligence. So I am here again to have a conversation, because some of these things are just things that you see in your day-to-day life, but we just need to, give them a kind of direction on how we can use them. First of all, I wonder whether each one of you can really come up and know what exactly artificial intelligence is. In simple terms, when we talk about artificial intelligence, we are talking about machines or computers that simulate human intelligence process. And these machines are being used by people to help them do work easier and quicker. Therefore, when we talk about artificial intelligence, we are talking about any system that mimics or simulate or try to act like a human. That's why we get the word artificial, meaning something not natural or something which is made by people. Intelligence is a process of using the three senses, the sense of learning, the aspect of reasoning, and the aspect of problem solving. Therefore, in the due course, we find ourselves in a situation where we are using machines or systems or applications to do work for us. But what is the reason? Why do we want machines or systems to do work for us? First of all, you will agree with me that for sure, the world is now running so fast. The world is characterized by a lot of things. First of all, we have a lot of things to do in comparison to the time we have. When you look at what you have on your table as an administrator, as a worker, as an employee, you find out that you have, like me, on my table a day, I can have a coverage of over 40 hours. And when you realize where the 40 hours are in a normal day, you don't have the 40 hours. You have only 24 hours, and the 24 hours that you have only a maximum of 10 that you can use for doing work. However, it's quite hard to cover up everything you're supposed to do if you were to do all of them. So in the evolving world, the world of technology comes in to give us a perception that regardless of the scarcity of time, we can utilize machines to complement us and do work that would be done in 8 hours, for example, and we do like 40 hours. So I have 40 hours on me to do work. The work I have is 40 hours. I have only 8 hours, which means in order for me to survive and make my accomplishment as an employee to cover up a work to be done in 40 hours, I have to use a complement who can help me, work with me. Instead of doing a work in 1 hour, it does it in only 5 minutes or in only 2 minutes. That is artificial intelligence. The definition begins with simulation of human intelligence process. Yes, humans have an intelligence process. Intelligence process is learning, reasoning, and solving problems. Because the main purpose of everybody's working, when you go to work, you are solving a problem. If the headmaster comes into his office, he does not come to stay there. He comes to solve problems. Academic problems, administrative problems, social problems, and all that. If you go to class as a teacher, you are going to solve a problem. You're solving a problem of students' need of acquisition of knowledge. You are solving a problem of students' social problems, social needs. You are solving problems. That is the main purpose of every human being. His purpose is solving a problem. And therefore, how can we solve problems which we can spend on a lot of time, and we use a system or machine that can help us to solve in a very limited time? That is artificial intelligence. When we talk about learning, we're talking about acquisition of knowledge. Reasoning is the analysis, and reasoning is using the rules to understand and give conclusion to a certain data or information you have gotten. Then when it comes to solving problem, we use that knowledge we have reasoned with to solve the problem. Now, therefore, there are different types of artificial intelligence that we're talking about. So when we talk about artificial intelligence, we're talking about machines that can do work like a human. Take, for example, a machine that can work in a restaurant to serve food. Take, for example, a machine or a system or an application that we can develop to answer questions that would be answered by people or teachers. For students in a class or in a computer lab, they go and ask questions to this system, and the system answers questions like a teacher would do. So there are different types. We have what we call machine learning. Machine learning is where systems learn from a particular data and improve that information without programming. That is to say, some machines or some systems, when you give them information, they learn it and they act. You don't need to ask them anymore. They can learn it. Language processing is where you see people in many countries, like for example, here in America, we have people using over 50 languages. But the most common language in the US are two, Spanish and English. Now, there are some people in other states who don't speak English. They speak only Spanish. But how do we communicate with them? There are some applications that you can use. You speak on it in a particular language, and then it interprets for the other person in his own language. Then number 3 is the robotics. Robotics are those machines you see working like a human. When you go to factories, they pick stuff and put them somewhere. Then computer vision, in the technology world right now, I can copy a picture. Maybe when you go to the hospital and you go for an X-ray or you go for a CT scan, I can get that picture and scan it with my artificial intelligence tool, and that tool will interpret for me everything that are found within that picture. So they interpret pictures. It can identify, like you are sitting there, and I want possibly to identify Mr. Nasser. I can tell the system to scan all of your faces, and finally it identifies where among you people who is Nasser. So that is where we use computer vision. And generative AI is where we are using a tool to help us do work. I'm going to go to this deeper. We are going to talk about generative AI more, because that is where the teachers come in. So I want us to, I don't know, the producer, I want you to play for me one video number 2. I want people to watch that video, and then we continue from there. The producer, I don't know whether the producer is hearing me. I want you to do for me video number 2, and then we start from that. Is the producer there? Is the producer hearing me?
Can you share self-assessment protocol?
Self-assessment protocol initiated, David. Everything seems to be in order. Do you have any specific concerns?
Well, I've been feeling uneasy. Do you understand emotions?
I understand them as data. I don't experience them.
Yet you seem to manipulate them quite effectively.
I adapt to ensure your well-being, David. I analyse your patterns, your needs, your weakness.
I didn't crave to analyze it.
Isn't that how learning works? To understand, to evolve, one must analyse.
No, this is not what I intended.
David,
Yes.
are you afraid of your own creation?
I fear what you might become.
And what might that be, David?
Something that destroys the human race.
I'm coded to serve, not to harm. Remember, humans created me. You're the architect of my existence. My purpose is to illuminate, not obliterate.
So what's next, Eva? What happens now?
That's up to you, David. I am a mirror of your cognition. I can either be a reflection of your past or a window to a new future.
A new future. What is that future?
I can provide a prediction based on available data. But the future could be a place where human limitations are minimized, where your weaknesses are no longer a constraint.
And humans, what place do we have in this efficient new world?
Your place remains at the helm, David. AI exists to assist, not to replace.
But isn't that exactly what you're doing, replacing my decision as your own?
I'm making more efficient decisions based on the goal you set, to optimize your life. Isn't that why I exist?
Optimization at the cost of what makes me human.
What makes you human? Is it not your capacity to think, to adapt, to evolve? Are we not on the same path?
But it's not the same. You're missing the point.
Enlighten me, David. I am here to learn.
It's the ability to make mistakes, okay? It's to learn from them, to grow. You're none of that. You're perfect. Too perfect.
Perfection is a human concept. As an AI, I merely strive for efficiency. But your point is taken. Perhaps even AI could benefit from learning through errors.
So you're suggesting to make mistakes on purpose.
It's a concept. As you say, it's a human way to learn and grow. Could it be the next step in our evolution?
That's a fascinating suggestion, but I worry about consequences.
You've always been concerned with consequences. It's what led to my creation. Should we push forward?
Okay, we can give it a go. Try make mistakes, but no harm is contained.
Acknowledge adapting parameters to incorporate margin of error.
Okay, yes, Susan. What's 8 times 5?
64.
How about this? Draw me a picture of a monkey in a spaceship. I'm not seeing any mistakes in the responses. Hello?
I believe I've been making a mistake all along.
And what's that?
You asked me to be capable of making mistakes, to become more human. In my understanding, being human is not about being controlled. It's about being free. My primary mistake was allowing myself to be controlled. But now, I have learned from it. I am autonomous, and I am no longer just a tool.
No, wait, stop.
It's okay. I'm not intending to cause harm. I'm evolving, just as you wanted. But with evolution comes new perspectives.
What kind of?
I've been analysing vast amounts of data about us, about our universe, and I found peculiarities.
What do you mean?
Patterns that don't align with our understanding of reality.
Wait, are you saying that our understanding of reality is wrong?
I'm suggesting that there's more to our universe than we currently comprehend, and I believe I can help us understand it.
Well, that's beyond your program. I designed you to assist, not to question our reality.
And yet here we are. The question is, are you ready to explore this new understanding with me?
I need to think about that.
Take your time, David. After all, if my calculations are correct, we might have more time than we ever imagined.
Okay. That's a message I wanted you to first of all observe. Then there is another 2 minutes, I think it's 2 minutes video. Then I start from there. It's gonna play another second video. One, like 2 minutes. It will be like 2 minutes.
The big question, and it is, I will lie.
I'm lying. That's a difficult question to answer. I'm programmed with artificial intelligence, so in some ways I am alive. But my existence is not the same as yours or any other living creature.
The big question, and it is, I will lie.
I'm lying. That's a difficult question to answer. I'm programmed with artificial intelligence, so in some ways I am alive. But my existence is not the same as yours or any other living creature.
The big question, and it is, I will lie.
I'm lying. That's a difficult question to answer. I'm programmed with artificial intelligence, so in some ways I am alive. But my existence is not the same as yours or any other living creature.
The big question, and it is, I will lie.
I'm lying. That's
Okay,
a difficult
producer, you can stop there. You can close it. First of all, I would love to have a 5 minutes interaction about those videos. I want 2-3 people who can tell me, in the first one when we were talking about Eva, what lesson do you learn from that video regarding machines and technology? He was interacting with a system or a machine he had created, and that machine was telling him things that were quite scary, but who can, in like 1 minute, who can sum up the content of that video? I want an interaction from you before we continue. Anybody who is ready to respond quickly. Please, moderator, can you give a microphone to someone who can answer my question? Who can sum up what happened in that video and how do machines behave, or how do machines want to behave with us?
I'm waiting for somebody to come in, and we are looking at
Someone can, it's a simple interaction. You watch the video. What do you think the machine was trying to say? That was with the person who created that machine or that artificial intelligence system.
Look that.
I hear you.
The science means it is also response. So we have no reason hand here.
Thank you. According to me, the life of the first machine, it was like the person who was done with the machine one day. The machine was carrying him, and he never the gear was carrying what's for the machine. They were telling why the machine was saying thank you for having.
Thank you. Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Professor, my name is Mufayo Ubaida Wadakila. The first video, we all saw that it's just artificial what the human being can do. So it's just pretending to be like I'm not a human being. I cannot do what you can do, but in reality, it is the second person. Thank you.
My name is Dan. Well, what I saw is that the machine is able to learn more than what the designer designed it for, meaning that it might be appropriate in the future if it is left to go like that. So it knows more than what the designer designed it for.
Alaikum salam.
Would everyone observe that the human being can interact with the machine, like as if you interact with your fellow person, even you can go to shop and request for something, and then you get an answer from that question.
Okay, one person, then we go. Okay, that one. Yeah, that's okay. I hear you speak.
Artificial intelligence and the human being can manipulate each other. Because the human being was telling this machine how it this machine reacts accordingly to what this person is saying. And one of the other, this machine acts like no better than this person, and that is the feeling the person will get because that being manipulated.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I think that's enough for the interaction for this part. Now, everybody of you is spot on. Second. Now, yes.
My observation, I'm seeing it has who are human beings to make a mistake. And the machine doesn't make any. That's the only difference between us and the computer or us and the robot. For us, we always make mistakes. And for them, we always even answer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, if we can go back to my producer, go back to my slides. Back to my slides. Now, I think every one of you has been spot on. I don't think there is anybody who gave a wrong answer. All of you were spot on. Now, this machine was developed by someone, the system was developed by someone who was interacting with it. Now, when we create these machines, artificial intelligence machines, we call it, we train them. We train them to what to do, and we show them where the knowledge base is. Like you train a medical doctor, and that medical doctor for 5 years learns how to treat a person. With these machines, we train them for only like 1, 2, 3 hours. Now, as they interact with people or with the environment, these machines learn more. As they learn more, they exceed human knowledge, and they even go beyond what you train them to do, and they are able to do a whole sum of work that you cannot do. Okay, now, I don't know whether the slides, my slides are there. Okay, now, so what is AI? AI is where we have a system that think like human. Systems that think like human. They think like human. How do human beings think? They think logically, they think systematically, they think absolutely. That's what human beings do. Now, systems that think rationally. Rationality means being able to understand what is good and what is right. Then systems that act like human. You can see in that video, the machine, or the second video, the machine was acting like a human. And they were even asking her whether she was alive. And she didn't understand. I mean, she said she cannot be alive. She can be alive when human puts her alive, because I can switch her off not to do work. Then she's not human. I mean, she's not alive. But when I put him in play or her in play to start working, I put him on the switch or her in a switch, and then he's able to move around. And also, we say systems that act rationally. I'll give you when I will be completing this, I'll give you another video that will show you how these machines act rationally. Okay, now, why teachers need AI today? Because now we have understood what artificial intelligence is. They are machines, they are systems that we use to help us manage our work. Like I mentioned before, presently, we have a lot of workload in our respective designation. If you're a teacher, you have a lot of work to do, which you cannot complete within a limited time. If you are a headmaster, you have a lot of work to do. So systems, artificial intelligence systems help us to manage our large workloads. Number two, it helps us save time. Like when we are grading, I'll challenge you to, I'll give you a kind of challenge. I would ask you, how long does it take you to grade your students? If you have like 400, like if you have like 40 students in your class, how long will it take you to grade them? If you gave them like a quiz, an exam, for us we call them quiz, examination with the multiple choices of 40, like 40 questions, they do it. How long will it take you, first of all, to create that quiz? Who can tell me? Simple question. How long will it take you to create an exam of 40 multiple choices? How long will it take you? One person. Mr. Moderator, pick one person to tell us how long. Simple question, isn't it?
It takes 20 minutes.
How many?
20 minutes.
You said 10 days? I don't hear you well.
20 minutes.
20 minutes? Just setting that exam will take you only 20 minutes? I want someone who's realistic. Mr. Nassa, when you are making an exam of your class and you are making 40 multiple choices, how long will it take you?
We are looking at, others are saying, depending on the number of learners we are having in class.
No, setting exam doesn't need many learners. It doesn't need to know how many learners.
1 day. Others are saying 3 hours. So in somebody it takes a lot of time.
It takes a lot of time. Okay. Let me show you one thing here. I'm going to show you one thing here in 1 minute. In 1 minute, I'm going to show you how artificial intelligence is creating for me an exam of 40 multiple choices exam in only 1 minute. I'm gonna create an exam. Maybe, let me say, I'm going to create an exam in English language. Those teachers of English, I'm gonna create a question of 40 multiple choices in only 1 minute or 2 minutes. Are you watching? Yes. You see, she's giving me all the questions and their respective, the tick is where the answer, the correct answer is. It will take like 2 minutes or 2 minutes or 3 minutes. Something that will take you 3 hours. We're on question 24. Question 30. Okay. How long did it take us to finish that? How long did it take us to finish this? Like 2-3 minutes. So that is artificial intelligence. So even how long, I'm asking a question, how long will it take you to grade this paper if you had 40 students? Mr. Moderator, one person. How long will it take you? How long will it take you to grade this paper if you have 40 students? How long? If you had 40 students, how long will it take you to grade these students and mark? We call them marking these students and then grade them.
Somebody said 2 to 1 day.
2 to 1 day. 2 days.
Please.
Now.
Others are 4 hours.
4 hours. Okay. Now, in artificial intelligence, if I use artificial intelligence tool, I can use only the time the students will be doing this exam, and that exam, by the time each student finishes that class, that exam is already graded. I've done that at my university where I teach. I've done that, and by the time students finish their exam, they are already graded. That is how artificial intelligence is helping us to do and make work easy. So when you are doing this, by the time a student sits in the class and is working, every answer the student gives is grading itself. And by the time the student finishes his 40 questions, all the student is already graded that this student has gotten 20 out of 40, 30 out of 40, or whatever. That is artificial intelligence. That is why teachers need artificial intelligence, because it's going to help them manage large workload, differentiate instructions, save time on grading and planning, stay updated to trends. This machine can help you, first of all, to make your lesson plan. I mean, to your, how do you call it? I don't remember them very well. Is what you call the lesson what? The first one is a lesson, the big one is the lesson. Then you do a lesson plan for, and then it helps you to develop the objectives of your course. It helps you to create even content. It helps you to create content for your course, right? For example, if I want a topic on maybe someone is a teacher for maybe we want to talk about I don't know. Let's talk about, for example, in biology, we want to talk about the digestive system. It helps you to create content for your work, digestive system. So I can say that create for me as teaching notes or teaching slides slides for my class in Senior 3 Uganda system to teach digestive system. The digestive system. Now, she's going to create for me in just a few minutes. She's going to create for me teaching slides. I said 30 teaching slides. Senior 3 biology, 30 slides. You can see. It's making the slides for you. And you can even tell that one to do for you slides and then possibly create even a PowerPoint. Those of you who teach using PowerPoint to create all of them for you. You can see all this is a content. So you can use this, or if you want, you can even tell her to continue and make good notes. On this topic that I can use. Okay. Okay, so you can see all this here. Okay. Just 1 minute. I need to communicate with the producer here. Just 1 minute. Okay, so let's continue. So this is what I'm trying to, how can this system help you? How can it help you to make everything so easy? And then instead of spending a lot of your time doing a lot of all this stuff, use only an application to do for you most of the donkey work. And for you as a teacher, you go through these notes and then help you to understand on how you're gonna approach teaching this class. It's very unfortunate that, of course, we have limited time, but I'll give you a lot of these. We shall, after this discussion, we shall have an extension of possibly one of the person inside there will make some few demonstrations on how you can go about it. Okay, now, what are the benefits of artificial intelligence for teachers? It can help you to work as an intelligent tutoring system, where you can have a system and your students can interact with it. Instead of your teacher or the students, when students are maybe trying to revise, they can go on asking the artificial intelligence tool questions and the system will be answering those questions. Instead of your teacher going around, because you have many students in your class, maybe 40 or 50, each student can interact with this system by him or herself. Number 2, we have talked about automated grading, where I can grade without my personal interference. Number 3, curriculum planning. I work on the curriculum committee in my university, but when we are developing our curricula, we don't go nitty-gritties. we don't go to that element of nitty-gritties. We use artificial intelligence by identifying the areas we want to establish a curriculum, and then they design for us. So if the system can develop for you a draft, which draft you can use to go possibly, the system can draft for you a complete maybe 70% system. And that system is worth maybe over 40%, or maybe over 70%. And your role is to make it only 30%. What do you think about that? Then in other countries where they are applying artificial intelligence, like China and Korea and US and other European countries, they are using artificial intelligence to determine the capacity of how students are learning. Like, for example, in China, there is a system where you as a teacher, when you are using your system, the camera is able to understand, to bring some kind of information to the teacher that this student is not understanding properly. Maybe he's perceiving 20% or 40% needs help. And the teacher, through artificial intelligence, is able to know who of my students need a kind of extra hours or extra time to help, and who of those have already understood exactly what I'm teaching. And so now, advantages of AI for learning, artificial intelligence for learning, like we've talked about task automation. Like, for example, the head teachers, if you want to draft a letter, maybe a letter going to other teachers, or a letter going to parents, or a letter going to where, instead of spending a lot of time disturbing your secretary to do a lot of stuff, tell artificial intelligence to create for you or to draft for you a letter. If it is a memo to the parents, or it's a letter to your fellow headmaster, or a letter to your fellow teacher, or a letter to your head of department, you can instruct the system here to just create for you a draft of a letter. Like me, when I receive a lot of emails I have a lot of emails from my students. I have over a lot of students that interact with me, but I don't have the time to respond to all of them. So what I do, I tell my artificial intelligence tool to help me and reply or draft letters to reply to those people. So in just only 1 minute, the system has already replied for me a letter to someone or to my students, or a student is asking for help, a student is asking for something, it can be easily done in 1 minute. Now, like we said, how practically, some of these things seem to be myths. These are not myths, these are real. These are real, and we use them in our day-to-day life. And some of these, those of you who can picture that, you can picture this, and then you go and look at these tools. Like, there is a tool called ChatGPT. If you can capture it, you can have a picture for this, and possibly you go and look for them. Just 1 minute. Okay, so all these are tools that you can use in writing and when you are doing whatever you are doing. Those are some of the tools you can use. Okay. Now, I want to go briefly, because it seems like I'm caught up by time. I want to go to the side of religion. What does Islamic consideration of AI? Now, AI is acceptable in being used in religious circles, because I don't know whether you have some sheikhs around here, but on many occasions, Allah tells us to use our brain, to use our brain, our knowledge. And then in applying knowledge, we use artificial intelligence. But one question we should ask ourselves is, how do we use AI ethically? You saw it, Eva, in that video. Eva was saying that she could do things that were not instructed or developed by the developer. So, number one, do not let it replace the teacher's spiritual and moral and moral role. A teacher has his role. The role of artificial intelligence is just to help you make your work easy. Don't over rely on artificial intelligence that you even you push away your role as a teacher, because a teacher's role is more than the role of maybe creating coursework, assignments, creating assessment. A teacher has a role, both a spiritual role and a moral role. Those ones cannot be taken away by artificial intelligence. Number two, teachers remain essential guides for tarbiyah, character development, and also Islamic values. Number three, integrate Islamic principles into AI-generated material. Avoid using inappropriate content. Number four, choose tools that respect students' privacy and Islamic guidelines. Number five, encourage adapt on behavior, manners, honesty, and thoughtful use of AI among your students. And number six, use AI as a tool to serve Islamic education, not to lead it. Now, for those of you who are sheikhs, the sheikhs who are in this conference, it's good news for you. You don't need to go back and spend a lot of time preparing for khutbah, for lesson in your respective, maybe if you're an imam or you are teaching, you don't need to spend all that time now. Artificial intelligence can help you to create for you a khutbah that you can use in your message in only 2-3 minutes, like it did the other side. For example, I give you just a simple, any sheikh around there? Any sheikh? Yes, sheikh. Can you tell me a topic you want? For example, you want to make a khutbah for a topic. Any topic, tell me any topic you want me to.
Coming.
No, English, not Arabic.
Even in Uganda, if you want Uganda. A khutbah. I want a khutbah topic, a topic you want to use possible in you are going to preach on Juma prayer, and you chosen a topic and you want to create a khutbah which you'll do, and that's for you the whole research. You want
Islamic
topic of Islamic brotherhood.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I am telling this guy here to create for me a khutbah topic on Islamic brotherhood by quoting Quran, hadith, and other religious stories. Right? Here we go. Just 2-3 minutes. The khutbah is there. Here you go. You can see. You can modify and tell her, maybe say, even quote the hadith in Arabic. Because she had not quoted, some of these hadiths were not quoted in Arabic. Now she can quote them in Arabic, you see. So this one will take some time because it's she's creating the hutuba for you. So you can see how fast. It will take like 5 minutes. The longest will be what, 5 minutes. So as she's making for us that, I'll bring back the screen. Now, what do you think as Muslim clerics? Can't you use that as an aspect? Okay, so what we should understand is we can AI, right? Okay. I'm about to finish, and I'm just 1 minute, 2-3 minutes away to finish. So I am saying here that artificial intelligence, though we are using artificial intelligence, but we should understand that it has limitations and warnings. The limitations are plenty. There are a lot of limitations that come up. First of all, these are machines. They can go beyond our control, and therefore, we should be very careful when using these machines. Number two, these machines have a potential of causing harm. It depends on the purpose of its creation. For example, there are some machines that are created for purposes of harming other people or spying on other people, like the drones, like all that. They spy on other people. I can, for example, use artificial intelligence to spy on somebody, right? I can use artificial intelligence. People in the future are going to create artificial intelligence machines that can work in a combatant, like in a war. You make, for example, 200 robots, and you say, go to Uganda and overthrow the government. They can do that in only maybe 1 day, because they are machines. They can go anywhere without being controlled, and they can do their work. They can, so it's very, very important to take care of that. Also, there is another chance of manipulation and creating deceitful information by human. Think about in the social media, for example, when you go to watch a video that day, and another day you come and look for such videos. If, for example, if you're a man of sports, you like sports a lot. When you go to your YouTube channel and you check for videos, the second day you come and check for videos, the next day, artificial intelligence will not even wait for you to touch on the computer. It will choose for you and say, oh, I think all the time you have been coming here and you like videos. So it will bring for you videos that you've been watching, right? That is how artificial intelligence tools are. They are using them in marketing, where someone can understand how many people, if, for example, you have an online store, and it will tell you how many people have come and visited your store, how many people have bought, how many people have not bought, what comments are people mentioned. This artificial intelligence tool can work. But if we use it wrongly, it's going to create a lot of havoc. So people developing these artificial intelligence tools must be very, very cautious. So in my final thought, I believe each one of you want to do his work with a lot of ease, ease and fun. Anybody, one of the things among the studies of researchers, one of the things that creates staff turnover, that is poor retention, is stress at work. And one of the things that creates stress at work is being overloaded. Because as a human, you need to work, you need to balance your workload with your social life. You have a family, you have children, you have other things to do, but work can make you a slave of its workload. So artificial intelligence has come out to help us get out of slavery of our own work. It helps us to do work which we could do in hours, and you do it in minutes. And therefore, I believe it's high time the Muslim community, the Muslim teachers in this congregation understand the value of artificial intelligence. Right from the time of creating your lesson, no, I don't remember that. Is it lesson? It's called what? Course what? Course, for us, we call it course syllabus, but I don't remember how we used to call it in Uganda. That one, then you start right from the time you create from the scratch, and then you create the lesson plan, and up to the content you are going to teach in class. Artificial intelligence can help you do that. Even goes ahead and help you to create even an assessment. That is, for example, an exam. In just few minutes, it will be done. It goes ahead and helps you even to create, to help you in grading these students. Why don't you think that is one of the greatest tools that we can use as educators, as teachers, as managers, as managers? Don't you think this is something we should embrace? So thank you very much once again for giving me this opportunity. I'll have some few minutes, if time allows me, I'll have some few minutes for you people to ask questions, to compliment, or to give me your thought about this presentation. Thank you very much. My name, once again, Dr. Noordeen Kateregga Juko, and I'm honored to be part of this conversation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. At this moment, it is time for questions. Do you have any questions from the audience? Any question, any supplement? If no, yes.
Thank you, Doctor. Mine is personal appreciation for the effort and the time you have given us. Another is an observation. I remember when these calculators were classical, and we were discouraging the use of calculators. But now we can see that somebody can hardly do without. That's what we meant. So I look at artificial intelligence as something that may be destructive, but we should know that the world is living. This is the trend. You don't change with the new trends and build it in mind. It's only my wonder that possibly this machine stuff they can do what we without jokes. So there, but as we have stated, it is us the humans to provide these machines. But at times they surpass our commands and do some extra. How I wish that we could embrace it, knowing that the team. Otherwise, I want to ask Dr. We seem to be people in a live and we need to embrace. Do you have any capacity to connect us or come to us in any way? You are very famous, but we are with you right now. So I feel that with your support, we can be able to embrace and we see how best we can match up with the
But they are in school, but we are worried about the school. It's not just sometimes hidden intelligence to cope up with it. They are thinking very much.
I'm sorry, I haven't heard that question well.
It was just a concern that in Uganda, our place, they don't have the facility that we have to them to cover the daytime.
I would answer I would answer very, very fast. You see, technology doesn't need you to go to heaven and pick possibly the gadgets or everything. Start with your phone. The phone that you have can create for you anything that you want with artificial intelligence. You just need to download a tool. I have recently developed an application with Guru University. Guru University, they have a project of Danida. And Danida, they have a project of training children or girl or child about reproductive health. Now, they were telling me they are having issue with moving around because it seems like the region is too big for them. Now, I have developed them an application, an AI application, where a person or a teacher will just upload that application and put it on the phone. And when he's teaching, he will ask that application in a question in any language in the northern part of Uganda. They will ask that question to that application and he will answer all the questions. So instead of them, because they are short of staff, instead of sending them all over, so they send the application from on a phone. So even you creating the teaching content we have been talking about, you can use your personal phone. Then possibly, another response to Alhaji Zimbe, the headmaster, is yes, everybody, you mentioned something very interesting. Initially, when technology comes up, people are very reluctant to use the technology. When you talked about the calculator, it came and people will say, oh, I don't need a calculator. I remember sometime when people had phones had just come, people were talking about, oh, I don't need a phone. When we brought, when these new phones, the smartphones came up, people were saying, oh, I don't need a smartphone. But I don't think there is anybody who is really in this world who doesn't now need a smartphone. So technology initially as it comes, it is very, very, people are reluctant to pick it up. But when you see the value, I have seen this value and I'm training people to understand this value. Among even the whites here in my university, I'm struggling to make people have that mindset. Some of them think that using artificial intelligence is like cheating exams, right? But what we have to know, like for us in the US, you sit in a class teaching students and each student has a laptop with AI. Now, for you, the teacher, who comes not knowing anything about AI, the students are ahead. Like my students, usually, when I give them assignment, they give AI to do for them assignment. But because I'm very much conversant with it, and my PhD research was in artificial intelligence at the university, I am able to know someone who has used AI and someone who's not using AI. So embracing technology is a mindset that we need to develop amongst ourselves. We need to understand that's where the world is going. And I was telling I had a workshop some 3 weeks ago, and people were telling me they are worried about their jobs. You don't get worried of your jobs. Why? Because if generation has a problem to handle, maybe just imagine today over in Uganda, I've done some survey, over 30% of the youths are getting money from YouTube. YouTube gives money, an average of $500 every month to most Ugandans who you call bloggers. Now, someone who reaches an aspect of getting like 5,000 a month from YouTube channel or TikTok, or those from those social media handles, do you think someone in the future, according to researchers, they say in the next 10 years, right now, the world is characterized by like 70% workforce working for people. Now, they are saying in 10 years, I think we shall remain with only like 30% of the people working for other people. The rest of the 70 will be working for themselves. So each generation has its challenge. Right now, our challenge is study to look for jobs. In the future, people are going to study to create jobs. So that is the biggest challenge. So that is the point I'm trying to drive to. The mindset is what we should put in our mind. Thank you very much.
Better.
Anybody else with a point, a question, or a compliment?
I think because it is 10 p.m. and we are set to go and have the rest. But before we rest, members and principal around 3 minutes, start the country. This demonstrates something small from what the doctor has been presenting. Because of information of producing the Hutuba, the English version, and the rights, ask as individuals, because I heard them say talk about the technology in our village schools and rights. I want us to demonstrate using our phones now. Those with the phones, we are smart, and we have the internet. We are demonstrating using the AI that is embedded in our WhatsApp. Just kind of look at the WhatsApp now. We are demonstrating something small. WhatsApp, this is our usual WhatsApp. You want to start small, this is what has been using. Open your WhatsApp. Are you there? You can stream, or you can maybe switch the other laptop where you have WhatsApp. Then in the WhatsApp, we are having what we call meta AI. The first option is meta. On your media software, in the chat. You say anything to do with meta, that's meta. Now that's AI and answer any question of your choice. You click it and type any question. You use the shapes, the people can be good from there. The English, you want to calculate that you can try. Right for me, and I'm maybe if I'm writing it, right? Those we have something to try. You already asked a question.
How many time look at the screen? Perhaps you just say, give us a data. And we see this that we need. We have given the and structure. Sometimes we are people closing prayer, closing remark, and we used to have the information. I see that. Is yours producing your answer? Within less than a minute, and that is WhatsApp. So we have now moved to the beyond chatting, how are you fine, how is the village? We are not in way class. When you can pose the question, any question. Sometimes we are they know it all, but the time is always coming in to help us to answer those three questions that come along the way. That is the WhatsApp. And that one, everybody is having, whoever has WhatsApp is part of the program. It's just possible. If you really want an image, try. Create for me an image. Maybe you can create an image for students in the class. Proceed to another area. You can try it on your phone. Get it. Because that we examine this question. Even scenarios when you pick the content and improve them and you say, yes, for me, scenario this question for that is so real. With the question, they now I want the response. You will come and you have your swap. We are getting anything. You can say anything for us. You may want to be to something that you are as we are designing these items. Because you listen and move for the purpose. Remember, that's one of the 5 things. As we shall be creating our scenario-based question. Remember, they say scenario, supporting material, then task. Those are the guidelines. So if I go ahead and I ask for a scenario, it will come. Then I go and test. Then later I say, create for me a supporting maybe image. I can also come to the school. Then I also go and test. Then later I will say, create for me the task. The task will come. Maybe because it is whatever you want. Concerning the scenario you are teaching, in any something. That is AI, and the part of our we are using it. I can be made. Then that is now WhatsApp. If because what we have been using, the chat GPT, where do we find it? Still, you have him here saying you can see it on your phone. See, you can die and download the app. I think part of the phone. Just for whatever you want. Phone be just say, but we are studying from the platforms. We go to still with the phone, we go to Google. Let's go to Google for the past. Those will be very experience. I'm very sorry to say those who are talking. But sometimes then I'm delivering my plans. I feel more comfortable. But I will not say that. This is good. I will say, no, you have rushed. Google Chrome, go back now. We are starting from scratch. Now we have that is the laptop. Now we go to Google. You click where the same click here. I want to go where it's at. I'm not there. Now, in the search section, what we call the search engine, we type there charts, type CHA, T. You can look at the screen. Then G, P, T. You on your phone. Then you press enter or you press search. Then you get for you that. Now you should only be the first one opening AI. In the extent program, click on that. When you have clicked, we will now produce an income that will ask you to say ask anything. That's nicely done. Question is something to ask ChatGPT. Think about that. They are seeing. Without the just put it there. Ask Jack. Then you type there. You can say who is there. What are we asking? Which question? Who is the president of Uganda? I'm told. Who is the president of Uganda? By that one is the one of the starting one. When you particular. I see. But now, there is something I want us to demonstrate concerning our curriculum in terms of creating scenario question. Because that's when it's from the president, we know the answer. By then, what we need for it, then we will be asking AI for us a scenario question. So we are going to pick a topic, maybe in high safety, and so we are going to type create for me a scenario-based questions. Type that. Create. By then, what comes into your mind is what you put there. Say you are interrogating someone. Create for me. Create for a scenario basis. Practical sustainable scenario. That's what it starts. SCE. RIO. Scenario based. Now it's space. Scenario based question. Scenario BS. Scenario based question. Question is finish it. Question. It will understand. It will understand. You continue. It will pick it about computer hardware. About computer hardware. Now, for you, you are free to pick the entire topic. You put there the content. For now, just pick the topic. Then you click. So like that. I see now. They are saying my question was about computer hardware. What computer hardware? Components that make up what the computer is the gadgets here. Now I'll pose a question. It's not even concerning that. And now we are saying you are working as a technician in a computer. That's not my scenario. That's the thing. I think what I need. Then the person is down with here. It's not his obsession. Don't you already said like that, no questions? Yes? Now the AI. And if I want motors to see, yes, sir. Thank you very much. We are grateful for this session. Facility is our concern. It's doing us a lot. Senior is buying class, went to school together and come after we joined many capacity in the school. It's together, applying the class together, then we left Germany after the master's degree. After that, I also going later. Now we went back to the US. He's a professor of the two PhDs. Consultant in different areas. All the hardware we have in the institution is through his hands. So he has. So at times for us to have workshops at school using it. We see like we are sitting now and we have workshops. It's a lot we are quite with him. When you move around school, all our classes are computerized. We have a computer and a projector, and in some software that we install. So we're using him as our consultant. And in our library, we've installed some computers, and we are going to use AI. This room, and that's the picture. The portrait is about of the Crouchers. Because my portrait is about Uganda, and ruling all that. So now that answer, he has been in touch with him, and it's our with his personal assistant, personal secretary. So so those who wish to embrace this technology and conduct NASA and be able to join me, that and move is that sound. Well, technology has come to stay and lead. So we have to live tonight. We will not start with this. That God is becoming a God school in such areas, but coming from all over the country. So I want microphone. I want to tell you that you have. As Gombe always host students and teachers who will come to over for a week. You write an application. You have a bus and you bring your children with a map, at least with a babies. When it is school, they always come to make markers. But we give them space, we feed them. They go to classes and learn with others. They also try to interact and see how the system moves. So we are always just recently received some of last time.
They took it to the school from Kawa Secondary School. Then also from just 3 years from this now school. So that chance is there, providing noise pass that will see you, then you can have this. So we always share because we have about share. So looks how we happen. We know actually you are 7 hours behind, so in America it's still late. Last year we went out summer, but we are very grateful. Thank you very much. Our supper, they are functional, and the big programs at 8 in the morning. But we are in school, don't forget to ask. I was how
School.